Hi guys, Eric Pathy here at PickDogs.com for your Friday report. I'm going to be out of town for the next few days, so we're chunking these videos out. Before we get to it, guys, we're approaching August 1st. Take advantage of the All Access Christmas in July promotion. It's not even, like I said in the video we just did for Thursday, about getting July and August for free. It's about getting a great deal on an early bird that a lot of clients have been taking advantage of. So if you want to get access to the All Access plus 507 units from week one of the NFL season last year to the final Oklahoma City 10-unit win on the final game this year, we're not even talking about the fact, and we're doing this video on Thursday, so can't talk about on Wednesday, Thursday's results. Going into Thursday, 16-3, the last 19 on an 8-0 run in the CFL. But we are beginning back after the All-Star break. And before we get to the All-Star break, man, I was on the phone with a gazillion clients today. This sports book graded it as a win. This sports book graded it as a loss. This sports book, blah, blah, blah. That sports book, blah, blah, blah. What it basically came down to at the end was the last text I got, Al, and then I'll let you expand on this. The last text I got was basically if you were betting at Caesars, they paid out on the National League. Offshore, I'm not going to name the sports book, paid out on the National League. If you're dealing with a local bookmaker who has a PPH skin, basically they all graded it as a push.
I mean, I think the problem in this specific event is it was the first time it ever happened, and a lot of people, myself included, were even unaware of the tie-breaking procedure.
Okay.
So you can only imagine the sports books never had this factored into their baseball rules on their website because they never imagined that you could go to this kind of, you know, procedure to determine a baseball game, right? So that probably explains why sports books come out with different results because the rules are different or the rules didn't speak to it. And in that case, the sports books have to throw up their hands. From my perspective, the National League should be graded as a win. You know, it's no different than a hockey shootout,
Right.
in the NHL All-Star game, right? I mean, it's the same thing. You're tied at the end of regulation. Hockey has, shootouts. This was like a hockey shootout to me. So I think the NL, should be determined the winner, but sports books have to really go by what's in black and white on their website. So what should be and what is are often two different things.
I was talking to Mike and he was like, they should have just refunded everybody or graded NL as a winner. It's good marketing. It's good PR. Who cares? Football's
Right.
about to start. Do you really want a client pissed off over his
100%.
$1,000 NL bet? And he's like, I'm not going to give them my business. It doesn't even make sense.
Right. 100%. That's what, PR 101. If you bet on the National League, you win. If you bet on the American League, you get your money back and you'll,
Bet it on something else.
bet it on something else. I mean,
Exactly. So with that being said, now we begin the second half of the baseball season. And let's talk about it. I know we were talking about streaks. You told me this matchup in this Boston's on a 10-game winning streak, as we discussed before we did this video. I think it's like the worst thing ever to have that upward momentum and then just stop. It's like the chiller at halftime when a team is like shooting lights out threes and then they go in and they come out and they're hitting bricks. What's your take on this matchup? I know that's not the reason why, but
yeah, no, I tend to think in some instances you do want to be rested. For example, in the NBA playoffs, I'd rather be rested in between series than unrested. But in a lot of other instances, I think rest makes rust. I think it's certainly the All-Star break did not come at a good time for the Boston Red Sox. They're on a 10-game win streak. You want to be playing every day at that point.
right. So with that being said, I think you got a complimentary selection on this matchup.
I do, and it has nothing to do with them being on a 10-game win streak. For me, it's just I'm looking at the pitchers. Colin Ray for the Cubs and Lucas Giolito for the Red Sox. And you've got two pitchers who are complete opposites when it comes to going up against winning opposition. In his career, Ray His teams have gone 26-18 versus winning opposition, plus 14.4 net games. So they're usually playing as an underdog, and he still has excelled versus winning teams. You know, when you're up 14.4 net games, when you're only 8 games over 500, that's fantastic. Lucas Giolito, on the other hand, horrible versus winning teams. His teams have gone 31-55, minus 22.0 net games on the money line. You've got two very good teams playing in this game. I'm going to back the pitcher who actually steps up his game versus winning opposition and doesn't underperform. So I'm going to take Colin Ray. And the odds right now, the overnight line as we see it at this moment in time, minus $1.30.
Lay the 130 with the Cubs, guys. Reach out to me for the all access. And as always, good day and good luck.